Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one true villain, Marty Skell. And as you all know, all my friends are dead. It's very unfortunate. But if they were alive, I'd encourage them to listen to Tiger Driver Radio. Yes. If you want to get up to date and all your Ring of Honor news, New Japan, you want to hear about villain enterprises, then Tiger Driver Radio is the station for you. So make sure you give it a download, you give it a listen, and don't be a bloody numpty. Long live the villain.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Tiger Driver Radio for all things New Japan Pro Wrestling and other wrestling news. This is your main man, JP, alongside
Juicy J. What up, dog?
What's up, man? How's everything?
It's good, man. I just came back from a field trip at the zoo.
Where'd you off the zoo?
Yeah.
What'd you see?
I saw your mom.
You know what? Just anyone out there listening right now, we've been cracking your mom jokes for like the past half hour on each other. So I was just waiting. I was waiting for him to like come back at me. That was a nice. All right, I'll give you that one.
I did it, man. I got a good one.
You got one good one after like 5 times that I got you.
Your mom's.
But I did go to the zoo, though.
You did go to the zoo?
Yeah. It was okay.
Is your mom doing okay though?
Yeah. She's all right.
I got it back at you. Well, no, but that's cool, man. Like, I actually just came back from Dallas partying for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Staying out till 4 a.m. for both days. And man, as much as I loved it and had fun, man, I am not young anymore. I'm not young. And I don't even drink.
And what time you stay out to? Till like 4?
4 the first night, 5 the second night.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
Can't do that anymore. I'm already asleep by 9 p.m.
Oh, dude, 9 p.m. is the new midnight for me, man. Yeah. Like, typically, I don't know how I did it. Don't know how I did it. I felt like what Omega must have felt like after fighting Okada the first time.
Yeah. Where
they were right at that 60-minute time, almost at the 60-minute time limit, and they're just like dying. That's what I felt like. I was just barely eating like my Denny's like Grand Slam sandwich and just falling asleep while eating it.
I don't know about Denny's.
You don't know what's wrong with Denny's?
I don't like it.
Well, what about him? What don't you like?
I'm more of a IHOP person.
Fair.
I was about to say that.
Fair enough.
So he's probably an IHOP.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys don't recognize his voice, we have a guest. And please introduce yourself, sir.
This is Blue.
Blue? Yeah, I was like, should I use my stage name? That makes me sound like a stripper. Yeah.
Use your gimmick name.
My gimmick name. There you go.
Your gimmick.
Hey guys, this is Blue. Just a long-time listener, first time. It's kind of surreal. It's like, have you ever seen that? How it's made? It's like doing that with Tiger Driver Radio. So
yeah, I'm sorry to say that there's not a lot of styrofoam pieces. There's not a lot of nuts and bolts. It's just this dumbass over here.
We might get styrofoam later.
Might get styrofoam.
Put it on the walls. More of a soundproof.
Yeah, we do need actually to get some egg crates for the wall for sure.
Yeah.
So if any of you want to donate money
or egg crates.
Speaking of which, you can send us some pod points on Podbean. We are live right now on Podbean, but on pod points, if you send us some, that's actually cash for us. If you are so kind of, if you want to do that, you don't have to, but
yes, please, because we have families to feed, and our families haven't eaten in months. Yeah, every little bit helps.
This show's all I have.
This is all I have, people. Oh. Please help me. I'm kidding, but no, seriously, all help is appreciated. Any criticism, any feedback, pod points, hate mail, tweets, whatever. Let us know what's going on. It's been an exciting time in wrestling this past week, and I'm telling you, man, like a lot of people downplay the World Tag League at the end of the year, saying that it's the lazy part of the New Japan year.
Yeah,
but I think. I don't know. I've been having a lot of fun. You could tell that the wrestlers feel a little less pressure to perform in a certain way. And I feel like they've been having a lot more fun with their matches rather than it being like, you have to put in a 5-star performance, which may sound like it's a disservice to like other established tag teams like, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, or maybe, I don't know, Ten Cozy, who are basically very decorated tag teams within themselves, but I've had a lot of fun watching it. I've especially loved watching Yano and Cabana wrestle together. I mean, my God, just Give them the belts. Have them upset. That's what if it were up to me, World Tag League would end with Yano and Cabana actually winning,
I'll be happy.
and then having them go over the Guerrillas of Destiny in a huge Tokyo Dome upset.
That'd be something.
Yeah, I think people would just be shocked. Like, wait, what? Like, are you serious? Like, they won, and because especially with Cabana's finisher these past couple of years, the Superman pin,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
the most anticlimactic like finish, which just makes it climatic because it's just so damn funny.
Yeah.
It's just so damn funny,
I got 2 questions for you.
Yes.
Okay, before you even start talking about this, because you watch the shows or all the shows of World Tag League, but who are your picks for who's gonna win it and who's gonna be doing the worst?
Honestly, I think the worst is probably going to be probably Goto and Fredericks,
Mhm.
because I don't see a young lion go. I mean, then again, the first 2 matches they have won,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I don't see them going beyond that. Unfortunately, maybe I might be completely wrong here, but I don't see it going any further. And I also think who will go to the best. Either one of 2 ways it's going to happen. One of 3 ways I see this happening. Either Tama Tonga and Tongaloa are going to take it all again.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, they've been dominant in the tag scene for the past year in New Japan. Or maybe we might see Suzuki and Lance Archer,
That'd be sick.
Mhm.
take it, and it'll just be a hard-hitting match come Tokyo Dome. But then that also leaves the question up in the air of Liger still does not have an official opponent left for the Tokyo Dome, because
Yeah.
he already
Night
has
two.
his night 1 match, which is his tag match with a lot of people that he respects and appreciates throughout his career.
Mhm.
But what about the final night? They haven't announced it, but Liger has said that he wanted to wrestle Suzuki one more time, which hasn't happened yet.
Mhm.
So I don't know. And then the third one, I think, which would be awesome, is I would love to see Tenkozy go at it again. Even though they're a veteran old school tag team, they're not in their prime anymore. They can still go. Seeing Tenzan and Kojima pull a victory in this World Tag League and challenge again, it would seem like an old school favorite against these new guys, like against like these new school favorites. So I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Who do you got? Blue?
Let's see. I was looking at this earlier. Yeah, I was gonna say something between Suzuki and Lance. They had a match against Taichi and Zach. And with Suzuki, like the rumors going around that he might be leaving sometime soon. I think
Yeah.
they're trying to plan some sort of like inner turmoil there
Yeah.
between Suzuki-gun, which either Zach or Taichi taking over. That'd be an interesting kind of thing to go into.
Yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom. I actually had Evil and Sonata doing a 3-peat. They've already done it twice, and for some reason New Japan always likes to book them strong for this.
That's some good picks. I like those.
Yeah.
I see that's a valid point.
Worst team, I agree with Carl Fredericks and Goto. It's if you got a young lion on your team, you're pretty much
I
screwed.
feel bad for Goto.
Yeah, well,
He's one of the best ones, and you put him with Carl Fredericks, which we know they're going to do bad because
Yeah.
of what you just said.
Yeah.
yeah, he actually got a pin over Kenta, I think, in
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
they're saying he might get a shot at that belt, which
That would work for especially for the Tokyo Dome.
yeah, that'd be sick.
Because like I think it's been about 2 years since Goto has actually had a Wrestle Kingdom main card match, because 2 years ago he had that hair versus hair versus hair match
Yeah.
Mhm.
against Minoru Suzuki, where Suzuki then shaved off his patented mohawk.
Mhm.
And that was an awesome match. That match got a little scary. I remember when Suzuki choked out Goto and like was choking him from the top buckle, like he was like choking him for real, and then he passed out for about
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So in pretty much like the entire time, like I think they had to buy time because Goto was on the ground, like not moving for a couple of minutes. I don't know if he was acting or what, but it looked pretty savage. And since then, Goto has he's gotten in better shape. He's performing a lot better, but he just hasn't been quite given his push. And I think he deserves a lot more. I don't think since like 2009, where he won the G1 at that point, but he's never quite gotten that chance to go to that next level in his career. He's always kind of been right there.
Yeah, especially if you're putting him with Shibata, like you have to put him up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like why make Shibata look bad too?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're kind of representing Shibata now at this
Yeah.
point,
Mhm.
which I don't know. I mean, they were kind of teasing it earlier this year that Shibata was going to come back and fight Kenta.
Mhm.
I still have a little bit of hope for that.
Yeah.
I still have a little bit of hope for that. Whether that's for the never open weight, I don't know. but I think maybe night 1 Goto challenges Kenta, and then night 2 maybe Shibata will actually make his comeback. I don't know. Like like I said, one thing about New Japan that I like and I dislike is that they can be very tight-lipped about their plans. Even in Japan, like kayfabe, how they work their kayfabe is a lot different than in America, but they still find a way to like surprise the crowd, like genuinely surprise the crowd.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear a lot of rumors in general.
Mm.
You don't. Like
That's
few
good.
and far between.
Yeah, which is good. They're a whole separate country, which is why we probably don't get all the rumors and everything.
Yeah, but even over there, like even
You
like
don't hear it?
over there, like you hear news, but you don't hear a lot of rumors as to what happens. Not like here where you have like 1,000,001 dirt sheets.
Or over there, they're workaholics. They don't have time to look at their sheets.
Yeah, true. Unless you're a diehard fan.
Yeah.
then-
They're getting that bread.
yeah, exactly. They're too busy like being company men, man. But I mean, I don't know. Like there's
You know
so
who's
many.
my pick?
What?
My pick at the beginning. Well, at first I didn't like him,
Yeah.
Juice and Finley, but now I'm a fan now of Finn Juice.
Yeah, but didn't they lose the past one?
The past
2? Am I wrong? Did they think
Mm.
they lost the last one against? Yeah, they lost against Tai Chi and Zack Sabre Jr.
yeah, but I think they're right now at 6 points.
Yeah, okay, you're right. They're at
They're
6
doing.
points
I think they're
because
doing okay right now.
they're still
but,
alive.
Yeah, but I'm all team Finn Juice right now.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, they do like to push for their bigger shows. They like to push like foreigners because they're trying to get out of there. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
might
so
be-
you're right. Of the guy jeans, my picks are Finn Juice and Cobb and Mikey Nichols. Although Nichols to me, I don't like him that much, but
yeah, I feel like they
but
already
Jeff
gave up.
Cobb, yeah, but Jeff Cobb I definitely do.
Here's the thing about Mikey Nichols is that he was part of TMDK and Pro Wrestling Noah, TM61 for NXT fans.
Yeah.
And he was he was awesome as a tag team specialist, but even his partner Shane Thorne
Mhm.
was definitely the Shawn Michaels of the two. Like obviously Mad Mikey Nichols is the Marty Jannetty of TMDK and is
Yeah.
clearly the Marty Jannetty between him and Jeff Cobb, because Jeff Cobb, is a monster who I would love to see get more opportunities as a solo guy.
Yeah.
In New Japan Pro Wrestling if he chooses to go that way. But
And my other pick was Colt and Yano, and they also have 6 points.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they might pull an upset.
Yeah, I had the best picks.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and I think didn't they pin Loa and
Yeah, they did. They pulled an upset.
God? I mean, yeah.
Which means if they pulled an upset, that means that even though if they don't win the tag league, whoever pins the champions will have a title opportunity.
Yeah,
That's how it usually works. Like you may not win the G1, but if you pin a champion, you do have at some point eventually you will have a chance to fight for that title.
What did they do it for Wrestle Kingdom? You
Yeah.
wouldn't like Colt and Yano in Wrestle Kingdom?
I would love that. I would love that because what if they pulled a fucking upset? Like everyone in the crowd thinks, okay, obviously, God would pull it off,
Yeah.
or God would dominate. They've been dominating for half a year, and then bam, like Yano pulls it off. It'd be such a huge upset.
Yeah. You know what's something else I was looking at when I was looking at this World Tag League matches?
What?
Is these matchups or the groups they made for Suzuki Gun and LIJ
Yeah.
and Chaos? Like I thought they were weird choices. Maybe they just wanted to mix it up.
I think it's just a matter of just mixing it up. But I mean, this is for Suzuki.
Like Suzuki Gun, I would have put Zack Sabre Jr. and Suzuki Gun and Suzuki together instead of the way they have it, Zack and Tai Chi and Suzuki and Lance.
See, that's what I was thinking because I think they were. I think they still are. Or they were former Rev Pro Tag Team Champions, and they held that for a year.
yeah.
The
That-
former, I think.
That's why I'm telling you, they're teasing something with Zach and Suzuki. If Suzuki is leaving, they need
Yeah.
somebody to take over.
Yeah.
So it's
As being like the shooter type guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
That's
Hmm.
true. Yeah, I think so. Because the other thing is with LIJ, like Shingo and Terrible is kind of the same as Goto and Carl Fredericks. Terrible is not going to do well because the CMLL guys never do well. I don't know why that's messed up to me. That's pretty messed up.
I think that's also.
But they always come up just being the what's the word I'm looking for here?
Filler?
Well, that and just losing all the time.
Jobbers.
Yeah, jobbers. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, he eats the pin.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the only time I've ever seen CMLL guys prosper have
Mhm.
been like formerly CML, like Dragon Lee obviously has done well for himself.
Yeah.
As well as, I don't know, in the past, who am I forgetting? What's his
Titan?
name? He was formerly, he's now in WWE.
Oh, La Sombra.
La Sombra. Yeah, La
Andrade.
Sombra was Intercontinental Champion. He was the first guy to beat Nakamura after like 2 years.
Oh, you're talking about Cien Almas?
Yeah, Cien Almas,
Yeah.
when he was La Sombra, he beat Nakamura for 2, and that was a big
Yeah.
deal at that time. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, Nakamura lost the IC belt. Wow.
Yeah.
He beat him. I mean, granted, he lost it like 3 months later, but still, the point is that he beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But like I agree. I feel like for as much as they really celebrate luchadors and they have their own Fantastic Mania, shows after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
I still feel like it's such a big disservice to like misuse the luchadors. Like why? Like why bring them?
Yeah.
I completely agree.
That's messed up. The other thing that is messed up is Tanahashi and Hinari. I think that's a little weird combo too,
Yeah.
with Hinari and Tanahashi. I mean, Hinari did have a new gear. I know you said you wanted him to change, and he now has black trunks and black boots.
Yeah, which was I think it looks better. It looks better than that. I mean, I appreciate that he's all about his heritage. I just thought his ring gear was kind of boring, lackluster.
Yeah.
It looked weird, like a little
Doo-doo?
Yeah.
he had doo-doo in his pants.
Oh man. No, yeah. I think like all these tossed together tag teams I'm already eliminating from contention. I was like, I mean, it sounds cynical, but it's again, I'm just like, well, I don't think these guys like El Terrible and Shingo, I'm like, they're not gonna do much because they just toss us together. It's just mixing things up. The serious contenders, I think, are the ones. Well, then again, Yano and Cabana were kind of tossed together.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah, I mean they were, but they have some history because they've always gone back and forth in their matches, and they always put on these funny and memorable matches. So maybe it's just kind of like, well, it makes sense to put them together. I think it makes a lot more sense for them than in other cases of the wrestlers.
Yeah. They
like Cobb and Mikey.
Yeah. And then the veterans, what do you think? Do you think the veterans are going to do all right? Like Makabe and Hanma.
Makabe and Hanma, no, for the simple fact that
Tenzan, Kojima.
See, I would love to see Tenzan and Kojima again because, like I said, they are
Tenkoji, yeah.
Tenkoji. They are decorated tag team champions from the late '90s and early 2000s, like both in All Japan and in New Japan Pro Wrestling, respectively.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they both can still go. Like just because they're older, like I don't think that's any reason to discount them. Because you ever notice with certain veterans, not all, but certain veterans, they get kind of relegated to the opening matches with the Young Lions, or just living legend matches against living legend matches. Like it'll be Yuji Nagata against Hanma or whatever. Like those guys from that second generation always just wrestle each other, and that's it. I disagree with that. I think it's kind of also a bit of a disrespect. I mean, yes, obviously they're older. They can't go like they did back in their time. But, dude, Kojima is still, like, jacked.
Yeah.
Like, he can still go. And, Tenzan can still go. I mean, he did pretty well in last year's G1 considering that, he was getting up there in age. I mean, and obviously Yuji Nagata can still throw down. Like, the guy's a badass at his age.
Nakanishi, not that much anymore, right?
Nakanishi's knees are shot. I mean, that's one guy that I personally think needs to just stick to teaching in the dojo at this point. Because if you ever watched Nakanishi's matches from the late 90s, early 2000s, when he was going back and forth with like Kensuke Sasuke and Masahiro Chono, the guy was fast. Like he had this ridiculous spear, man. Like Goldberg had a badass spear. Nakanishi, in my opinion, had like the next best thing of a spear back in his day. Now, the dude can barely like hobble in the ring, man. It's a little hard to watch.
Yeah.
Tanahashi too.
Tanahashi's getting there. He needs to get that left knee fixed.
I think that's why they put him with Hinari too. Put him with a young guy that just pretty much
he's going to take
most
the
of
bumps.
Match. Yeah, and then he comes in Sling Blade.
Sling Blade.
Get out of there.
Yeah, Sling Blade, high five flow, and then done.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that he can't go. I just think they're trying to preserve him as best as possible at this point.
Yeah, because he's a draw over there. So
exactly, but he definitely needs to, because him and John Cena, I think, are relatively the same age.
Oh, I thought you said you were gonna say they're relatives. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, right. They're relatively the same age, right? Like
Yeah.
39, 40.
Yeah,
And I think Tanahashi's wrestled just a little bit longer.
Mhm.
But if you look at it, both of them have kind of had the same career trajectory
yeah.
as each other, as being like the guy that was keeping interest in a dying.
That
you know.
chicks love and dudes hate.
Yeah, chicks love. Well, in Japan, dudes actually love him too, for that matter. But
Yeah.
I love
I didn't know
both.
yeah, everyone loved Tono Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in his prime, everybody loved Tanahashi. You know.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is about Tanahashi is that, like, prior to him being like the ace, people did hate him at first. Like, people liked him and people hated him at the same time. They hated him because he wasn't like Chono, and he wasn't Muda, and he wasn't those guys, you know? So it's just like all the old heads were just mad that he just wasn't the old Three Musketeers of the 90s.
Yeah.
So it was just a transitional period. But then, you know, he started to earn their respect back then.
Which he should use his cockroach gimmick from the movie from the
Oh, my dad is a heel wrestler?
yeah. And I still haven't found that movie.
You still haven't?
And I haven't. I looked on Amazon. It's like $32
A rental?
to buy it, and I think it comes from Japan, but I can't find it anywhere.
Not to rental, not streaming.
No.
Maybe you have to find it like on Crunchyroll.
Oh.
Because, you know, Crunchyroll also has like,
Yeah.
you know, Japanese drama
Oh, yeah,
and
check
stuff like
there.
that. Yeah.
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 Have you seen that movie? Blue?
No.
Or saw it? Yeah, he's just
He's a cockroach.
he's a heel
But he has like a cockroach mask or something.
cockroach mask. I think he came out with it one time in the New Japan show, right?
Yeah, he did.
That sounds great.
It was so everybody was happy. I know me and JP here were happy because he was a heel, and he's
Yeah.
never been a heel really.
Oh,
So
Me? I've been a heel.
Huh?
You say I'm not a heel?
No, Tanahashi.
Oh, this another for a
No,
second.
no.
It sounded like you said JP's not a heel.
No,
I'm like,
me and you. No, I said
Oh.
me and JP were happy that he was a heel because Tanahashi's never been really a heel, and him coming out with that cockroach gimmick was like, yes, he's a heel now. But no, that was just for just one show, so that kind of sucked.
I know. Like I said, Tanahashi is only teased being a heel once in a blue moon. Because I remember when they had that earlier this year, they had that Giant Baba Memorial match.
Oh, yeah.
They had that tag match where it was him and God, I can't even remember this guy's name. Yoshitatsu. Him and Yoshitatsu against what's that big guy from Big Japan Pro Wrestling? Daisuke Sekimoto and of course Ken from All Japan Pro Wrestling
And your
Ken,
mom.
Yeah, my mom. She refereed. And then Kento Miyahara. They had like a mixed tag team match of like four of the biggest names in Japanese wrestling promotions in Japan, and it was a draw. You know, of course. You know, no, actually it wasn't. Sekimoto pinned Tatsu.
Yeah.
So it was like a Big Japan guy went over, but Sekimoto also works in All Japan Pro Wrestling, so they weren't going to let Tanahashi get pinned.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that entire match, he kept Kenta Miyahara, who's kind of like this version, All Japan's version of Tanahashi, because he's also only 23 or 24, something. He's young. But like the entire time, Tanahashi was basically going over as the cocky veteran and just stomping him, not even wrestling, just brawling. So that was like the one time I've seen Tanahashi be heel-esque, because the audience was like getting pissed off that Tanahashi was being like cocky. But I don't think you're right. I don't think I've ever really seen Tanahashi be heel.
Yeah.
At least not in New Japan.
Yeah. Well, because Okada did it for a little bit when he was. Well, do you think it was a heel when he was doing the balloon thing with the red hair?
I
It was
just
a little bit heelish.
a little heelish, like because he just didn't care as much
Yeah.
for a while.
Mm-hmm. I think Okada's kind of been like a tweener because even in his matches, he like kicks you when you're down. He's always kind of carried himself in a way where he's neither heel nor face. He's just kind of like this cocky guy.
He's a cocky-
'cause
He's just
he's
better
from
than
chaos.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even right now, he's kind of being like the whole storyline with the double gold. He's like, oh, you know, I care about the world championship. I don't care about the IC title.
Yeah.
It's like-
He's kind of looking past everybody, like whatever, like you have to fight me, like whatever.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Especially like during the contract signing for Wrestle Kingdom, the audience actually were quiet when they said, "Oh, you know, here's Kazuchika Okada." You know, the audience were just kind of like non-responsive, and he's like, "Oh, wow, so now you don't cheer me? A year ago you used to cheer me, now you don't." But then when Ibushi stood up to sign the contract, they were like going crazy. I just think at this point it's not that people don't like Okada. I just think they want to see something new. That's all. Because Okada has a pretty solid run for the past 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he still has a long career ahead of him. He's still super young, but I think he's been such a dominant champion. I think they just want something new. That's all.
Yeah. And who's that? Who do you think that's gonna be?
Oh, dude, your mom's great, dude.
Because
You didn't catch that one.
yeah, I was gonna just keep talking. I was like, what the?
Oh no, dude! Like your mom is a 5-star champion, dude.
Man, I just lost what I was about to say.
We're talking. I'm so sorry. We're talking about Okada.
Oh yeah, so the other thing that was happening on World Tag League
Yeah.
that was weird that they kept sprinkling this throughout the shows is that they had Naito and Bushi against Geto and Jay White,
Mm.
and it wasn't part of the tag league or anything. But like I said, they were in the shows. They kept having the same match over and over again, which I thought was weird. And I just thought it was weird because we were just talking about who's gonna be the next guy, who's gonna be the double champion. Then you have Naito and Jay White in these weird matches.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they never really done something like this, in my opinion, or that I can think of.
Well, I mean,
Because it's a bunch of tag league matches,
why
and
would
then
they
all of a
just-
sudden just one match,
that has nothing to do with tag league?
nothing to do with tag league, and it just keeps happening over and over. Like all these 4 nights, I think they had the match, or I think
Right.
3 of the nights.
Yeah, that is a bit weird because usually in other like in the G1, they usually have other G1 participants have tag matches. It's kind of like a preview. It's kind of like a taste maker for what this is what you can expect, in the coming nights. if
And
you
in the
keep
middle of the
watching G1.
show,
Yeah,
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's weird. I was like, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah,
why
like-
are they having this match right now?
yeah. Like I mean, I feel like
Threw me
this is why sometimes like I completely agree with you. Like as good as New Japan can be about building certain people and also maintaining the integrity of certain storylines, sometimes they get a little bit lazy with their booking during
Yeah.
a card.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where it's just like, why does this need to happen? Like,
Mhm.
or there would have been so many other ways to do something better,
Yeah.
Or I don't know, just give both of those, since those guys are going to probably steal the show or be one of the guys to be competitive in stealing the show. Why don't you just give them the time off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give them some
like
time
they
off.
did Okada.
Yeah.
Like Okada's not in this,
Yeah.
right?
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
That's weird. Like, why are you gonna have Naito and Jay White keep fighting each other?
I don't
And
even think
I know-
Ibushi's on here.
Ibushi's not on there either. So why are you gonna have them fighting and these guys are off? And it just doesn't make sense to me. I know you're maybe trying to build a story of this heated rivalry, which it is. It is a heated rivalry because every time Jay White is fighting Naito, like he grabs his face and kind of like just want to tears it off. So I like it, but it's just weird. Like, why you have these matches right now? Maybe just keep it more of a. It'd be more interesting not have him in here or having these matches, and just later in Wrestle Kingdom, just let him go at it.
I completely agree.
yeah.
Especially if you think about it, like let's say hypothetically with the first night that happens, let's say if Ibushi wins
Yeah.
and then Naito wins
Yeah.
first night. Every time those two get in the squared circle together, they
Mhm.
practically damn near murder each other
Yeah.
with what they do. So it's like, why don't you let these guys get their rest, because they're gonna almost kill each other and come January. And then what happens? What if, God forbid, one of them gets injured? Let them rest. I don't know why Naito. I mean, maybe Naito needs the cash. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe.
Christmas is around the corner.
Right.
Matter of fact, does he even have a kid? Do you know if he has a
I
kid?
don't think so.
I don't know.
He's always eating at Subway.
Yeah, he loves Subway.
Yeah, he loves
Yeah.
Subway. Ugh.
You don't like Subway?
Nah.
Because you're not a sandwich artist. You need to be a sandwich artist
Why am I sandwich?
or a sandwich connoisseur. What?
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's.
More of a Jimmy John's guy.
Your mom is too. She loves my John.
Damn, they keep going with the mom jokes.
You know what else she loves? She loves my Jimmy too. Put those two together. Clown shoes.
Yeah, he's not gonna
Oh.
stop after all these mom jokes.
Yeah, man. You gotta.
I don't
come
stop
back.
with you, and I definitely don't stop with her.
Just getting a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh man. Boo? Why
Yeah.
are you booing me?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? That's too bad.
Let's just keep talking about World Tag League.
Like tagging your mom? What? Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, but yeah, that's interesting. Where they're highlighting Naito and Jay White's thing. I think my personal pick
Yeah.
is Naito. I'm like he's my guy.
Yeah,
He's my guy to like take the whole thing.
You think so?
Yeah, kind of the reason I'm going over there too.
Oh man,
Mm.
how emotional are you gonna get if it doesn't happen though?
I don't know. I need to follow all the rules there for their crowd. I don't want to be like yelling at the wrong time, so I don't want to be that guy. in
I
the
think
Japanese
you
crowd.
can yell. You just got to yell at the right times.
Yeah,
You know. Have
Have
you
you-
watched those instructional videos?
yeah.
Yeah.
With Taguchi, Ryusuke Taguchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
They did have one with Osprey and Rocky Romero that was also
Yeah.
funny.
I gotta watch them again before I go. Definitely.
Yeah.
Um.
Don't record.
Oh yeah, don't record. That's gonna suck because I'm gonna
I
want
don't
to.
know, man. So, I'm not telling you to break the law here. I don't want you to, but dude, I've noticed, man. Some when I go on like on Instagram or whatever, I've seen a couple of videos. Very short though. Like they're like only 5 seconds, you
Yeah.
know, of somebody hitting a clothesline and then that's it. Like
Yeah.
pictures, yeah, I've seen tons of pictures from live events, but
Mhm.
video, man, yeah, I've seen like a couple of 5 seconds in Corrigan Hall on Instagram. So because people know, like, man, shit, like,
You gotta come bail me out from Liger's. You ever seen the video where
yeah,
it's like
like,
the cop? If
like,
Liger comes out and arrests my ass, you gotta come bail me out in Japan.
fine. That means I have to have a one-on-one match against Liger to free you.
Retirement match. There you go.
Yeah, so he has to come out of retirement just to beat me. Oh, dude, he'll probably beat the shit out of me, man. Like Liger's buff as hell.
Yeah, so be interesting. Yeah, that guy's definitely my pick to go all the way.
I,
But
so.
I completely agree.
I picked Jay White.
For take it all.
Yeah, because like I was telling you last week, I mean, I just like a heel being on the top, so
I mean,
makes
I
it interesting.
mm,
I agree. I think Ibushi's going to take it just to build a new guy.
Yeah.
At the top. I mean, granted, he is 37 years old.
Yeah.
And he is a bit on the older side, but I think they want to build somebody at least for the next couple of years that is a newer face, just to take things off of Tanahashi and Okada for a
Yeah.
while. That's what I think. Or maybe I mean, I also see the validity of finally Naito will have his moment.
yeah, that's my reason. That'd be interesting. I think I don't know because they kind of have the heel face thing going on with Okada and Ibushi, and then Naito and White. So what I think is Okada's going to retain, and then he's gonna be the heel to Naito's face. at the
Yeah.
end. But I don't know. That's my fantasy booking. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know.
I completely agree. I think you know, also another thing is that I do think that Ibushi will be IWGP champion. I'm not 100% sure if it's right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Has the G1 winner ever won the world title?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the past. Well, I mean, I've only followed it a couple of years now.
Yeah.
These last couple of years, they've.
Because Kenny did not.
Mhm.
Naito did not. Tanahashi
Oh,
did.
yeah, last year. That's true.
Tanahashi did. Let me see. Naito did years ago. He
No.
won the G1 and won the title, and that's when people turned on him.
I thought he lost that.
No, he won it, and then he lost it before the Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Because there was a point in time where for a while you could challenge for the title before Wrestle Kingdom.
Mm,
Now they decided to hold off on it and just put that as an automatic thing for Wrestle Kingdom.
that's cool.
You know, yeah, but a lot of times people would tend to lose. I know Masahiro Chono's won like twice
Mhm.
for the G1. Muto's won twice. Yeah, like so it's kind of like a 60-40. Like if you win the G1, you might win, you might not. Like 60-40, 60% you'll probably lose, 40% you'll win.
Mhm.
Changes every year. I mean, Tanahashi pulled it off last year, so
Yeah.
which was upsetting to me at the time.
Yeah, I mean with Kenny leaving and stuff, I think their hands were tied on that
Yeah.
one.
Speaking of, man, have you heard that big rumor that's going around about how Kenny, in some indirect way, said that his most recent trip to Japan had difficulties when he had to go through customs, that it might have very well been New Japan's fault
Yeah, I heard
from
that.
blocking him? Yeah, because he was scheduled to wrestle, a match with Riho at DDT. And when he was entering the country, they stopped him. They had to question him. They were kind of giving him a hard time before he was allowed to enter the country. Like they wasted a couple of hours, and then eventually he got through. But he said that he has a feeling that he doesn't have a criminal record in Japan. Like what reason would there be to stop him? He didn't have anything illegal. He just thinks that it was an inconvenience. They tried to inconvenience him because New Japan still has some sour feelings, may have had some influence on local customs. And then, of course, Harold Mage said that's not
Clear it
possible.
up, right?
What's that?
Last week we had mentioned that he cleared it up.
Yeah, he cleared it
Yeah.
up. But I also heard through another
The source.
source that in the past, especially like in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, whenever foreigners would piss off bookers in different companies, especially for like All Japan Pro Wrestling, with like back then with Giant Baba and his wife Makoto Baba would run All Japan. Like back then, All Japan was like the WWE back then, where if you wrestled for All Japan, you did not wrestle for anybody. Like that's it. Like you wrestled for All Japan only, which is why like it was a ginormous deal when they had those crossover promotion matches with New Japan in like 2000. But back then, if somebody pissed, Giant Baba off and they would come back to Japan to maybe work for another company or just come through Japan, they would always get hassled at the border. Always get hassled. And a lot of people say that because back then wrestling companies did have a lot of political pull. Like they can call in favors and be like, yeah, when this guy comes through, give him a hard time.
Like in Mexico.
Yeah, like you heard about stuff like that in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like even though Harold Mage is going to deny it, of course he would. They still say that might have been something that was done just to like inconvenience Kenny Omega. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past people. I'm the kind of person, I don't put it past anybody to pull something petty,
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, they spent years building him up, and then guys takes off.
Takes off. I mean, they created a belt just for him. Ultimately.
Yeah.
I would be pissed too.
Yeah, I mean, as a businessman, hell yeah, that would piss me off. It's like, you're going to go do your own thing after we just put all this money into you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's neither here or there at this point, because I do love watching AEW. But I don't know. Like I said, another rumor came around saying that it might have happened. It is possible.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't think that's going to stop him from going to Japan at all, unless they outright just ban him from the country, which would be pretty crazy.
Yeah, considering that he has no offenses. He didn't break any laws.
Yeah, that'd be a first. But no, I don't think it might just like there'll be occasions where they'll stop him, probably not harass him, but just kind of stop him at the border. But he'll just have to plan for that ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, which that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, true story. I did have a friend in high school. Well, not so much a friend, an acquaintance. He was a friend of a friend. He got arrested in Japan and spent 10 years in Japanese jail.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
How's that like?
For solitary confinement.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, you basically sit in a room in a chair for like 12 hours a day, and you have to think about what you did wrong. Fish head soup, a little bit of rice, 1 hour to walk around in this yard, come back, you sit in this like lit room with nothing. No windows, no nothing, no nothing.
Dang, what did he do? Did he eat while he was walking? Did you have you ever heard that? That's like a thing in Japan. Like it's considered rude to eat on the go. So and me and my buddy always have this thing where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna buy a soda. We got to shotgun that thing right next to the vending machine. We can't eat it on the go. And he's like, what? No. It's the funniest thing.
It's kind of, no, like he seriously, he got in trouble for arson.
What the fuck?
Basically, he stole a car, which is crime right there as a foreigner. He stole a car and then he crashed the car into a convenience store.
Yikes.
And then lit it on fire. I am not making this up. I can call people to verify this. This happened.
Well, that explains the 10 years.
Yeah, because it wasn't just like, he slurped his noodles and grabbed someone's boobie or something, like
some chopsticks.
I think that's okay in Japan, actually.
Yeah. They love boobs. They're all about boobs there. That's another thing that's culturally funny and weird, man. It's just like in Japan, you can show as much leg and like super mega short skirts, and it's totally whatever. But you show your chest or like your clavicles, that's considered like risque.
Oh,
which is bizarre. Because over here in America, it's kind of the opposite. Like you don't want to show you don't want to wear too short for a woman, but if you show like your chest or whatever, it's like nobody. I mean, not people would love it, but it's not as controversial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just backwards.
Different cultures.
We should ask your mom about that.
Oh.
That was the last one for me. I have to stop.
You just opened it up again,
Going
buddy.
the day there. No, that's interesting, but.
Rafael Fortes on Podbean. What's up? We're live on Podbean, people.
Rafael
Live on
Fortes.
Podbean.
That sounds like a rapper name, dude. I dig that name, Rafael Fortes. Yeah, like
I like it.
Where's your mixtape at, man? Rafael Fortes. I want to hear this mixtape. Give me this mixtape.
We're live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central on Podbean.
Yes,
It is
please.
up. Tiger Driver Army. But you want to go to the rest of the news?
Yeah, man. Let's talk. We talked about enough World Tag League. We'll have to see how the rest of the cup, goes around. It's still a little too early for predictions, even though
Yeah.
we have our ideas. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But let's see what's going on around the crazy world of wrestling. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I would like to report that Jerry's mom loves me.
Man.
I'm sorry, dude.
Hopefully my mom doesn't listen to this.
I hope she does. I'm gonna marry her, dude.
We're gonna have to stop with these mom jokes. I don't know why we brought it back. I thought we stopped
You started it.
30 episodes ago.
You started it again. I killed it. It was done. It was over. And you started it again. You brought it back up, not me. I was a man of my word. But, speaking of words and terrible words, let's talk about the elephant in the wrestling room.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette, terrible comment. This last episode of NWA Power. Let me just start off on a positive note before I go on to the negative part. I'll just say this right now. I really, really enjoy NWA Power.
Yeah.
I really enjoy a vintage feel with a modern take. It's brilliant, and I love and I appreciate the fact that Billy Corgan, who's in charge of NWA, who is the president of the NWA, is not trying to be like anybody else. They are sticking to what they're known for, and that's tradition. That is a certain style of wrestling. It's less about flips and spots and more about traditional wrestling. I think it's great. Like I said, you're not trying to be anybody else. You're not trying to be, the production conglomerate of the WWE. You're not trying to be over the top with it like AEW. It's fun. It reminds me of when I got into wrestling as a kid. So
yeah,
I'm super stoked about it. But on that note, it really, really bums me out that for a guy who is been so closely associated with the NWA on and off throughout the years, Jim Cornette. We all know he's a loudmouth, mega problematic, says a lot of controversial things. I honestly think it's just a lot of times for ratings and for tweets and for followers. He's a clout chaser. I mean, there's no denying it. He's good at it. He's good at it. But this last comment, dude, that he made on this last episode, oh, man, terrible. That was just bad. Like, I don't even want to say what he said, like, on air. Basically, he made a reference to running through Ethiopia with a certain food item and kind of capitalizing off of a racist trope because of said food item. Use your imagination, put it together. I'm not going to say what he said, but then, of course, NWA made him resign. He resigned. And it's just, when does the guy already got fired from MLW earlier this year, and he was kind of having a bit of a comeback in his career of like, oh wow, he's going to be associated with booking, with commentating, and there's that.
Yeah,
it's like
just for ratings for his show,
just to be a troll. Like, oh god, dude.
But you know what? I think I am going to go listen to see what he's going to say about him getting fired.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still interested to see what he has to say in his defense, or just whatever he wants to acknowledge. Thank you, Rafael Fortes. I like you like our podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you for the love, man. Telling you, man, that name, it's a rapper name. Where's your mixtape? I want to hear it.
We'll plug it into the show somewhere.
Exactly. Yep. We'll use your music, Rafael Fortes.
Oh man. No, but I think there was a clip with Kevin Owens, because early in Kevin Steen in the Indies, early in his career, Jim Cornette kind of bashed on him. He said, he's only going to perform in front of 200 people, and Kevin Owens kind of put it best. It's like, well, I'm not the one that has been fired from every single job that I've had. Yeah. That's how Kevin Owens put it. That was his clap back to Jim. I love Jim, but yeah, it's pretty hard to defend that guy.
Yeah,
he says.
Yeah, like here's the ironic part about Jim is that everyone just writes him off as like a loud redneck, a country boy. He's actually a liberal.
Yeah, he is.
He's very much a liberal. Like, he is not. The only thing that is quote unquote not liberal about him is and he doesn't care about being PC. That is probably the only unliberal thing about him. Like, he just says whatever he wants and that's it. He doesn't care about the repercussions, whatever. But it's funny because he's super anti like Republican and
Yeah.
anti-conservative. Like he is very anti-conservative, but like he'll say these things, and I'm like, God damn, dude! Like you sound just like my racist uncle, man. Like shut up. Like
He's gonna. I think he is already, but he might end up being shunned like Vince Russo. Like Vince Russo really
yeah.
doesn't
yeah,
pop up anymore.
Vince Russo definitely killed off his. I mean, other than his like show, which he does on his own. I mean, what
Yeah.
career has Vince Russo really had?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, last time I heard of him was that time that Cody Rhodes pretty much booted him from that. What was that? That show they had before All Out.
From
Starcast?
Starcast.
Yeah,
there
from
you
the
go.
first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he got booked, and then they're like, "Nah, out." Like,
Yeah. That was. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Rafael Fortes, this is really cool, man. Like what he just said. I'm sorry just to cut you off. He says he says that he's not fluent in English and he's studying hard and podcasts help him a lot. Yours mainly from Brazil. Obrigado, man. Thank you so much. Wow, that's cool.
That's
That's
badass.
really cool that we got somebody from Brazil. Obrigado. Mucho obrigado. But no, but like back to what you were saying though, it's just like I completely agree with you like in that sense.
Mhm.
You know, it's just I don't know, where do you draw the line, you know,
Yeah.
between wanting to be the controversial heel and, you know, really pissing people off, which he's brilliant at. I don't think
Mhm.
anyone's better than Kim Cornette.
Mhm.
But sometimes I think he just takes it too far because he really wants to get that white heat on him. So that way people are going to constantly like give him that attention. So that way it can draw numbers. He can make money off of it.
Yeah, he just
And-
needs to be more careful. Does like you could be over the top and say things kind of like the NXT commentator
Tomorrow.
Mauro
Mauro
Ronaldo. Yeah, Mauro Ronaldo. He does a great job, but he doesn't say. He says what he wants sometimes. From how I feel, I don't think he's that very script. They don't give him too much scripts, but like he could control himself. Like why say these things?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just his old age, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
I mean, it does also have to deal with the fact that where he comes from. I mean,
So here's my question: is that show live? I didn't know it was live. I thought it was pre-recorded.
what Power?
Yeah.
Is it live?
Because couldn't they have just edited that and just swept it under the rug? But
Or live to tape, isn't it?
I think it's
Maybe-
like I think they record it as they're live and then it just goes on YouTube.
Yeah, they could have just. But Blue's right. I mean, they could have just cut that out once they got released.
yeah,
Yeah, true. But I think they wanted to make it which this could also be a possibility. They wanted to make an example out of him, be like, hey, you know, your words have consequences, and therefore you're done. Like that's it, you're done.
yeah. It's interesting, yeah, because I mean, it's publicity for them, right? Even though it's kind of negative and got a negative connotation to it, but it's interesting, yeah, because I mean, if you're running that show, you don't want that on the air. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want any, especially since like I know Nick Aldis also put out a tweet separately, and he said, you know, I've worked too hard with this company to bring it to make it relevant again. Like it's finally getting relevancy back again after 20 years of just being ignored. And I'm not going to let someone like that ruin it for the rest of us who have been trying so hard to rebuild this company essentially from the ground up, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree. Like I said, since Nick Aldis has been champion, he's done an incredible job at bringing, you know, some relevance back to the title. I mean, you could thank a little bit of Cody Rhodes with All In fighting for the NWA World Title on that pay-per-view. But Nick Aldis did an amazing job with being that like more powerful heel in that match, you know?
Mhm.
So, but I don't know, man. I just think it just comes to a point. It's like you got to draw the line somewhere,
Yeah.
and I think this is the line. Like he definitely hit the line.
Mhm.
You know.
It sucks. I mean, the show's been going strong, like probably averaging like what 1 million viewers.
Yeah,
So,
which for the
Me too.
NWA is great.
yeah, it's way more than they were getting on public access or wherever they were.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, they also had like all these different. I know they still have their affiliates like Hollywood Wrestling out of, you know, California and Arizona.
Mhm.
They're NWA associated, and then of course you have NWA Wildside, which still runs shows here and there. But a lot of those stars are like cherry picked and put into NWA Power.
Mhm.
And, you know, they kind of take the best of the best, which I got to say, man, Thunder Rosa has been doing an amazing job on that show as a heel wrestler.
Yeah.
Now finally teaming up with Melina, formerly of WWE.
hmm
So, like I said, I'm actually more excited about the women on that show.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
have you noticed the whole drums playing in the background whenever
It's like an
she's
epic
out-
moment.
Yeah, like dun 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 dun. dun.
Yeah.
Like that's always going on. I'm like, what's that all about? I don't. I guess it's the thunder I don't know.
Yeah,
It's an interesting production. Like I don't know why they keep putting that noise on, but
it does kind of add to that whole like old school vibe.
I'm gonna keep saying that. I keep saying this. The commercials. I love the commercials.
Oh,
the little
yeah.
commercials they make.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, has anybody had a chance to play
Tire
Retromania?
irons. Huh?
No, I have not.
Have you had a chance to play any Retromania?
No, I haven't.
No.
Is it out yet?
Is it next year?
Isn't I thought it was out already.
No.
At least the first version.
That's
No, I'm gonna have to look into that. No.
I still want to play it. It looks
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, the commercial's great with Nick and.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But like I said, it's just at the end of the day, you got to draw the line somewhere. But on other more positive and happy news, what about Bash at the Beach being brought back as an episode of AEW Dynamite?
That's gonna be epic.
You know, Bash at the Beach was always a fun pay-per-view back in the WCW days.
Mhm.
You know, do you guys remember anything from Bash on the Beach back
No,
in the
not
day?
that much.
No, not that much.
I remember.
I was.
Oh, go ahead.
Go.
I remember an episode. I don't know if it was Bash on the Beach, but they were somewhere near water because it was an episode where somebody was going to get a title shot, and they were doing this random draw in WCW.
Yeah.
And this was when I loved Rey Mysterio. This was back when he lost his mask. He was Rey Mysterio Jr. And he won the draw to go against Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And it was some finish where the referee basically screwed him over, and Ray tossed Ric Flair into this water. And I thought that was Bash on the Beach because they were near water. I don't think that was Bash on the Beach. It was something probably building up to it. But
Yeah, maybe because I
like-
know they started doing shows in Daytona towards the end.
oh, that might be it.
That might
Yeah.
have been it. Yeah,
I
Where's
just
the one
remember
where
that.
Ric Flair was in the water? Was it Bash on the Beach? No, it was something else.
might have been Raw. I mean, excuse me, not Raw. Nitro.
Yeah. It was
There's like
probably
water around the ring or something.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
Nitro. That was
Yeah.
Nitro.
Oh, okay.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was Bash on the Beach. I don't
No,
know.
Bash in the Beach, though, they used to have always the surfboards and like the sand
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
as
on
the
the stage.
backdrop and stuff. One of my favorite matches ever, which I know we're not supposed to talk. If this was WWE, we shouldn't be talking about this, which I could give a shit, is Chris Benoit versus Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
That was, I remember, like, it was the match where it's like if Kevin Sullivan lost, he'd have to retire. And if Chris Benoit lost, he'd have to, like, on TV, he'd have to give up control of his girlfriend, woman, and she'd have to go back to Kevin Sullivan, which is really weird because back then that was kind of like a shoot. Because in real life, Kevin Sullivan and woman, you know, were in real life together.
Yeah.
And then she cheated on him and left him for Chris Benoit in real life. But then they're having wrestling matches together while this is going on. And they're actually able to maintain a professional wrestling relationship in the ring. Like they never once took liberties to like hit each other harder or to
Mhm.
like do something messed up. So that was really weird because like I remember reading the dirt sheets, like Pro Wrestling Insider back in the day. You know, this is like, I'm dating myself now. This is like 1997 I'm talking about. Like reading all the rumors about how in real life this is what happened and this is what's kind of happening. But it was Kevin Sullivan who booked the match.
Yeah.
He booked the match of like, oh, let's take our real life drama and make it into a match, which was awkward to me.
Yeah. That's
Like that's just so messy. But the street fight was awesome. Like go back and watch it. Kevin Sullivan versus Benoit at Bash at the Beach. Super fun.
I'm not gonna watch it because I don't have the network.
You go on YouTube.
No, I'm just kidding.
Go on, Somebody has it on YouTube.
I was just some WWE hate right there.
Yeah, that was absolutely WWE. You know, I to this day I still use my friend's network.
oh yeah.
I don't pay for it. I borrow.
Don't say
it.
that. They're gonna find you.
Find me and fight me.
They're gonna cease and desist you right there.
Cease and desist me. Oh well.
I only pay for it once a year, and that's WrestleMania.
You try to do the whole free trial and just change your email?
No, I've done it maybe once, but no. Usually, I get it for like that 1 month because it's $10 for probably their biggest pay per view. So,
Yeah.
or maybe I do it
Royal Rumble?
Royal Rumble to
Yeah.
WrestleMania. That's the perfect time to do it. They usually give you 3 months free sometimes if you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, that's the only fun time of the year, and then after that, it kind of just dies out for
Yeah.
me. At this point, it used to be like, okay, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, quiet. SummerSlam is kind of exciting.
Yeah,
Then Survivor Series is kind of exciting. Now it's just pretty much like Rumble, Mania, Survivor Series. That's it.
yeah.
It's just like twice a year, it kind of gets super
It
exciting.
goes crazy.
Yeah. Something I don't want to die out is Villain Enterprises. And it seems like they're gonna take it to AEW.
I hope that happens.
That's interesting.
I really hope because I know all their contracts are almost done.
Yeah.
For Ring of Honor and
Because I know you're a big Brody King fan.
oh, dude, I told you I love Brody King. I think Brody King is at some point can be a can be a good heel world champion if he wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, if you book him right, he has the athletic ability, he has a look, and he's just huge and he's a monster.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, Marty Scurll can also be a good heel world champion, an underhanded heel world champion. He's been a underhanded IWGP Junior champion, you know, and it's just fun to see the fact that they also have PCO,
Yeah.
who is just a nut job for an
Yeah.
old man wrestling. He's just a nut job.
Yeah,
Like he's not a world champion kind of guy, but he's one of those guys where it's like, Jesus Christ, like you have to keep him around just for shock value.
Yeah, man. Like that.
They teased it right in Being the Elite.
Did that?
YouTube.
Yeah, they did.
teased it at the end that
I don't see.
showed Marty Scurll in a picture of all the
Oh,
Elite
yeah.
together. So I guess that's why it kind of brought up this whole rumors of maybe he's going to AEW now.
You know, and then I've also noticed like on social media that like Villain Enterprises
Mhm.
have started to launch their own independent merch outside of Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know a lot of Ring of Honor stuff is made through Ring of Honor and not necessarily through Pro Wrestling Tees, but
Yeah.
Marty Scurll has his own individual merch through Pro Wrestling Tees. Well, now Villain Enterprises is doing like exclusive merch where it's just their stuff only.
Mhm.
And they've also been doing like a lot of appearances on their own outside of Ring of Honor, which leads me to believe that I think they're starting to get ready to build themselves up independently outside of ROH and maybe go somewhere else, which is not good news for ROH. Like
Mhm.
ROH has already been struggling, I think, this year.
I think that you guys said last show that they've had their lowest crowd turnover or turnout for in a while, right?
Yeah, probably in about a good 6 years.
They shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
And now they're like, I don't know. I definitely believe Marty's going to AEW. It'd be a dumb move not to for him because they're gonna, not saying book him to the moon, but he's basically got a good say in there with his friends working. I don't know about PCO and Brody. If they let all three of them go, that's ridiculous by Ring of Honor. Like I don't know how you.
But I mean,
Doing
their
it again.
contracts are all almost up, though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's crazy. And yeah, they're their main draws there. Basically, they were tag champs for a while. I know that.
Mhm.
I don't know if they were trios champs, but
They were their chosen for a little while.
I think, yeah, and they've also kind of Juice Robinson's not there as much anymore. He was kind of like their New Japan guy there, kind of.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, a while back he said like I'm done with Ring of Honor. Like Ring of Honor, I'm not gonna go there.
And they were making that whole faction behind him, and it's
Yeah.
like, wow,
That kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
yeah. So now they got all these talented guys, but not really much going on.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Sucks.
Like I mean, Tracy Williams is talented. Granted, he's a wrestler that always works injured, but
Mhm.
he is a talented wrestler. Mark Haskins is tragically underutilized and underrated. I love Mark Haskins.
Yeah.
The Briscoes, like I said, have been such a cornerstone in that company. It would be kind of, I mean, I don't see it happening, but it would be kind of nice to see the Briscoes wrestle outside of ROH for a while.
Yeah. No, but they're
Loyal.
they're probably gonna stay there.
Yeah. I feel like
But-
they're. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Rush and Bandito are probably gonna take off once their contracts are done.
Oh yeah. Well, didn't they already sign with AAA or something?
Yeah,
they're
which-
just having that show with them, but I don't think they've actually signed with them.
Yeah, I know Dragon Lee
Yeah.
also signed with AAA, and I think is he going to be going to Ring of Honor as well?
No, Dragon Lee. No, I think he's just
Triple A right now.
yeah, and MLW, I believe.
Yeah,
He has some shows with MLW.
you know.
Yeah, but yeah, I think just Rush was just working that show, Triple A show, but I don't think he's signed yet. I think that I know of.
Yeah. I don't know how bad they are financially, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ring of Honor just kind of, not saying goes under, but probably needs some assistance like TNA did back a couple of years. Remember when they did those combined Lucha Underground shows? Back,
Yeah,
they'll probably need something like that to draw people because it's kind of tough for them right now. It sucks. I can't think of one guy there that I'm like, oh yeah, I really want to go see him. You know, Matt Taven's their top guy right now, I think still. No,
Matt
Rush beat him for the title, right? So,
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, Rush is probably like their best asset.
at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which sucks. I mean, it's a great company, but at this, they've kind of done the same thing for so long.
And the thing
Okay.
that I just find it really odd is that like they have Sinclair Broadcasting behind them, which is one of the biggest broadcasting companies in the world,
Mhm.
and somehow Sinclair has not seen the value of maybe trying to put more money behind Ring of Honor and push it out there and to give them a proper TV deal.
Mhm.
And it's kind of hurt them because Ring of Honor is still very much regionally managed, where in this market it'll air like at 5 p.m. on a Saturday, and
Yeah.
then in this market it'll air at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. And it's terrible. It's like, people want consistency. It's like, okay, on this time every week it's going to be here. And also give incentive to watch. I just think at this point, the model that they've been using for so long has been so lackluster. I mean, even Joey Mercury kind of went off saying that they're a lackluster company, how this mismanaged, it's not safe, it sucks.
Yeah, the Women of Honor program was just a dud. Like, they did not handle that well, and they're supposed to be this company that's ahead of the curve when it comes to wrestling, and they're last place when it comes to women's wrestling.
Exactly. And they had every opportunity to capitalize off that, because they've had some awesome women go through that company. And like Miyu, Iwatani from Stardom, as well as other wrestlers like Maria Manic. And the fact that they've only allowed Maria Manic to go in and just beat up people and not have a match, like why wouldn't you utilize her?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you utilize that? And this is so strange to talk about this, because earlier this year, ROH had that big show in Madison Square Garden. But at the same time, the way that I felt and the way that I looked at it, even other friends of mine who are less into New Japan and Ring of Honor than I am, they said it still felt like a New Japan run show.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was very much a Ring of Honor style ring, a Ring of Honor audience, but you could tell most people there were there for the New Japan matches more than anything. I mean, I will say though, like that Bandito Dragon Lee Taiji Ishimori match was insane.
Oh yeah.
As well as Ospreay against Cobb, which was such a great opener. But I mean, if you really think about it, out of that relationship, who benefits more between that relationship? Ring of Honor benefits more from New Japan being there than New Japan benefits from Ring of Honor bringing their talent. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, maybe after all these years, maybe it wasn't TNA Impact that was the bad one after all. Maybe it's been Ring of Honor the whole time, and we're just now seeing it.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I don't know. TNA's never gonna die.
Yeah,
like they've gone so bad, and somehow they still come. But somebody believes in that product somehow. So
yeah. I mean, I will say they are recovering nicely these days. They do have a solid talent roster, good wrestling, and I will say Tessa Blanchard has done such a great job at. Dare I say, I think she's outshined some of the men, most of the men on that roster.
Who's engaged now?
Yes, congratulations. Yes, congratulations to Daga. Lucky man. Talented wrestler as well. But like I said, Tessa Blanchard has done such an amazing job at like bringing focus, not just to women's wrestling there, but to even intergender wrestling. Like her matches with Sami Callihan have been just fucking brutal, just absolutely brutal, and they're good storytelling. Such good storytelling. So like maybe we played ourselves. We discounted TNA / Impact a little too soon, and now Ring of Honor is kind of like, ugh, I don't really want to watch them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Wrestle Geek over there in Canada. We talked to him last week, and I mean, that was a mostly Canadian show, right?
Yeah,
Impact, and I know he's a fan of that, and I mean, he likes it. I mean, I still watch some shows here and there.
I do too.
Yeah.
Now, lately.
Well, right now when you're talking about Tessa, doesn't she have a world title shot coming up? At their next paper, I think it's against All Odds.
A legitimate title shot, not a women's title shot, not a knockouts, like the world title.
Well, those titles are legitimate too.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying they're legitimate, but like now it's not confined to just her gender. Now she's going for like the big one,
and that's intense. And Sami Callihan again, so that'll be pretty good. They've already had that one fight at Bound for Glory, probably last year, not this year.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, I guess to tell everybody a little bit about myself, I started watching wrestling. I was a WCW guy back in the day in the 90s. I was still a kid. And then I got back into it through Impact because I saw, oh, dude, it's Sting. It's Rick Steiner. I don't know why I got so excited about Rick Steiner, but I hadn't seen it. It's like, oh, wow, Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner. I was heavy WCW guy. And I saw that in Impact, and I started watching it. I got behind guys like AJ, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and from 2007 to right now, it's kind of I've just been all over the wrestling scene. But Impact's really what brought me back into it. So I kind of stopped watching when it was tanking, when they had that whole the Claire Lynch storyline with AJ, and then he took off, and then found out about New Japan, and just kind of. So that's kind of cool to see kind of where they are. They're basically Lucha Underground light now. If you think their whole roster has got guys like Tessa, Sammy. They had a bunch of guys, Lucha Underground guys that were just kind of picked up. And that was smart on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Very smart move. And like I said, they finally got a better TV deal now.
Yeah, yeah.
Finally.
What was it, Pop TV, and then all these other channels that nobody has.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think finally it's working out better for them.
Yeah, they still have it on Twitch, which I like.
Yeah,
Usually that's where I catch it on Twitch.
Oh, they still have it on Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like I said, there's so many awesome companies out there. I'm finding it super hard to believe that after all these years, Ring of Honor is the one that I'm kind of a little disappointed in after all these years, because they've been so good at like being ahead of the curve in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
But I will say they've done a disservice to the women. Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking about great women, Alicia Tout just signed to MLW in the broadcast team.
Congratulations to her, man. And like I said, MLW is making a lot of moves, man.
yeah.
Like-
yeah.
They're signing a lot of different wrestlers, both MMA and lucha style wrestlers.
I'm not like a crazy fan of bringing MMA with an MLW, but I saw a match with I think it's Dominic Guarini. I forget the other guy's name. That was pretty good. That they had a pretty entertaining match. I heard Tom Lawler, which was their former world champion, he's actually leaving. Oh,
Deeps.
You okay over there?
yeah.
Yeah, your mom called me.
Oh, you said you were gonna stop.
Yeah, Tom Lawler is actually apparently his contract's expiring soon, so they're kind of like, oh, is he gonna stay? Is he gonna go? He was kind of the world champion for a while, so
Yeah.
kind of a big deal.
MJF is there. Which I
MJ
like.
Yeah, the Dynasty. If you haven't seen those segments, they're great.
Oh, they're absolutely
They're-
brilliant.
They're awesome. And then you got the Hart Dynasty Foundation. I don't know what they call it.
Heart Foundation, yeah.
Yeah, those guys, Pillman, Teddy Hart, and Teddy Hart's behaving. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, if you can manage Teddy Hart,
You're doing a good job.
yeah. So it's entertaining. They're bringing what's that guy, King Mo? They've been promoting that guy. I don't know how to
Yeah.
feel about that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it brings more attention, more eyes to the product, right?
Yeah, I mean they've been doing well, and and it's a nice alternative, and it kind of has that grittiness that ECW had back then,
Mhm.
and I like that. I think that's something that's been missing in wrestling for a while. Because yeah, sure, you got the Combat Zone Wrestling stuff, but I just feel like there's a certain grittiness where it combines some of that grittiness and violence with just pure good wrestling.
Mhm.
And of course, quick storylines that are quick, that are not too drawn out or not too forced.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I love the whole rivalry between the Dynasty and the Hart Foundation. And then, of course, with Tom Lawler, and then, of course, the whole the Von Erichs now being part of MLW.
Yeah, and they're doing a really good job at building. Like Joseph Samael, like they did it. That's a guy. He probably has like family backgrounds too, but they've done a good job of building their own stars. They're not really relying too heavily on anybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Von Erichs, the Harts, like they've gotten these namesakes and they've made them like a thing. I really enjoy Ross and Marshall, which I don't know if Kevin Von Erich did that on purpose, naming them after stores. Ross and Marshalls.
I don't know.
I was like, did he do that on purpose? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think he was thinking about stores. I just thought, I don't know, they're just very
They're cool names.
they're very all American names, Because
Yeah.
even back in the day, it was like what Kerry, Kevin,
Mike.
Mike Von Erich, like all very all American boy names,
Yeah. Just every time I hear Ross and Marshalls, I'm like that's like the store.
Two of the stores that I go
Yeah.
shop at very often.
They're good stores, but yeah, I was like, yeah, that's interesting. But no, they're a great tag team. They're the tag champs now, I think.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning for anyone that's like several months behind now.
yeah. So, great shows, definitely.
Yeah.
Great shows. And it just comes to show you, kids, there are options out there. Go watch them.
What about Joey Janela Spring Break?
I'm excited about Joey Janela Spring Break for the simple fact that his first announcement, and I've been waiting for this one for a couple of years now, the Great Muta
Mhm.
has been announced as the first talent signee to participate in Joey Janela's Spring Break. Whether that's going to be part of his little clusterfuck battle royal,
Mhm.
or that's just, because Janela also does this thing where he'll fight a Japanese legend
Mhm.
every year. Maybe the Tim versus the Muta, which would be awesome. Because even though I know Muta just had recently a double knee replacement surgery.
Thanks.
Yeah, but he's recovered back since, and he's wrestling a little bit here and there. So I don't know. It'd be exciting to see Muta against Janela, or maybe against someone else.
Those shows are so much fun. I got to make the one in New Orleans. I
Oh,
think
did
it's
you?
Spring Break too. Yeah.
How was that?
It was crazy, man. Like the whole like the bad shit battle royal that they had. They had an Invisible Man. I'm like, oh my god, and they hit him with a pile driver, which was apparently banned by the state commission. So the guy that hit him with the pile driver was disqualified. And I'm like, like the stupid is that it's like if you've ever watched DDT wrestling,
Yeah.
there's crazy stories with DDT wrestling too. It's like it's just like that. It's
yeah.
it's wild. It's crazy. If it's your thing, definitely go do it.
Yeah, Joe. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm still debating because, like I said, I got to be an adult and got things to do.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, oh man, I should. Tickets are on sale next Friday, which I get paid. I'm like, I should buy my Joey Janela.
Do it.
Dude.
Are you gonna come with?
No.
Why?
It's too far. Oh, where is it?
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, it's too far.
Are you serious? You won't travel? You won't travel. We're talking about going to Japan in like a year, but you won't travel to Florida.
You know what we should do? We should look for like airplane prices and just debate, budget this out.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Because I mean,
Blue's gonna go with us, right, Blue?
I'd go.
yeah. You know what? Maybe I will. I don't have to go. I don't have to go all week. I just want to catch Joey Janela spring break. That's all I want to do.
It's like my first day here. I'm like, I'm being a bad influence to y'all financially. I'm an accountant. I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in the red like really quick here.
No, I mean to Orlando, you'd be surprised since it's such a travel destination. You'll find some pretty good prices to go over there, especially from Texas. I think we're pretty.
Especially splitting a hotel 2 to 3 ways, it shouldn't be so bad.
Yeah,
because I don't need a whole hotel by myself.
Yeah.
Speaking about Florida, this whole Tony Khan and Randy Orton beef.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
man,
what's up with that?
What's up with that? That's what's really interesting. It's just like it started off of a CM Punk comment.
Yeah.
About like how Punk basically tweeted out saying, "I'm going to say what I want, and I'm going to talk about things that have been good and not so fun, or something like that." And then Tony Khan said something like, "Oh, speaking of no fun, it sounds like a plane in Saudi Arabia." Randy Orton chimes in, talks a little trash, talking about like, should we not throw like stones through glass houses? And then it was basically bringing up that Tony Khan's father was investigated in 2018 for corruption and how he may have had ties to the Middle East that he didn't want or shouldn't be having financially. It was unfounded, false. It was just kind of like, a red herring. People were just kind of pointing fingers in the wrong direction, in an attempt at like, social sabotage for his father's company. But it ended up being fine. And Tony Khan's like, first off, that's an old story, completely unfounded. My dad had nothing to do with any sort of like corruption going on. And shouldn't you be the one to talk? Didn't you use the N-word recently on Twitch? Like you dropped the N-bomb.
Yes.
And then basically Randy Orton stopped responding. And then today he just basically called Tony Khan a Jacksonville Dixie, which is kind of like a reference to Dixie Carter for destroying TNA.
Oh.
And I'm just like, that's your best comeback, dude.
That's,
Tony Khan's not wrong.
I mean, Randy, in my opinion, Randy crossed the line first there.
Yeah, I mean, because it was just a little cheap, like, ha 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 comment. Sounds like a plane in Saudi Arabia, and then off of a CM Punk tweet, and then Randy Orton did, of course, bring up personal stuff.
Yeah, that's Twitter's interesting. I don't know.
Too many computer thugs, man. Yeah. Too many computer gangsters on Twitter. Yeah. People got a big mouth on Twitter.
That's why I just read and steer clear.
Steer clear. This is why he does no favors to Seth Rollins' career.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. He had a back and forth with Punk, right?
Yeah.
Fight me doing this. That's interesting.
And then Punk just basically said, like, do yourself a favor and get off Twitter. It doesn't do any help. It doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Like, please just get off Twitter. Like, which he's right.
Yeah.
It's I feel like Seth Rollins, not to go too far into the WWE thing, but I think a consensus from other fans that I've heard is that what's hurt Seth Rollins' reign as champion and his run recently has been some of his dumb comments on Twitter, especially the whole thing that started off about how he makes more money than Will Ospreay, which was kind of just a dumb, cheap comment. It's like, really, dude, you're going to bring up money? It's like, all right. So it's like, because Ospreay basically said, like, how many times have you been praised for your matches in the past 5 years? Like, none.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, outside the Shield, I don't think Rollins has had many like wow matches. He's had good matches, but nothing that's been like, oh. I mean, he had one WrestleMania moment, which is the whole like cashing in at the last second on Brock Lesnar and stealing it from Roman Reigns, which was
great.
Which was great. But as far as quality matches,
can't
really pick them. He's had some against Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
No DQ match against him. But then again, how can you not have a good match with insane?
That's the best John, the crazy one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Absolutely. You know, so I mean, I don't know. It's Twitter. Be careful on Twitter, kids. It gets you in trouble. Also, you know, you might get caught up out in the streets and get punched in the mouth by somebody you tweeted at too. They might catch you out there and like just beat you down. It happens. It happens. I've seen it happen. It's like, I heard you're talking mad, you know,
Yeah.
mad trash on Twitter, and people are like, wait, what?
Yeah, which is surprising with Rollins. He came from the Indies. He came from Ring of Honor. He was there for a couple of years for a while.
Yeah.
Was he Age of the Fall was his little stable?
Yeah, with Jimmy Jacobs, and which was great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So coming from that background and kind of making that comment to Ospreay, it's like, well, you know, you were there too, man.
Yeah, you were there too. Not to mention, I mean, for Ospreay's in a major company.
Yeah.
In Japan, he just has no interest in wrestling in America, which that's fine. That's he's more than happy to do that. Not to mention, he's living a comfy life in Japan now that he moved there.
Oh, he moved there?
Yeah, he ended up moving over there. New Japan helped him with that. So it was like, I want to move there. I want to be part of this company. I want to be a staple in this company. I don't want to wrestle anyone else.
I'm super stoked for his Hiromu match. That's after that is when I decided to buy the tickets with Takahashi coming back.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Hiromu.
Wow. So to break this down really quick, now that, to kind of go off of one topic into another, not only are you going to be at that Wrestle Kingdom, which is just a WTF moment in itself, you are going to see Hiromu Takahashi in his return match against Ospreay, which will probably be insane.
Yeah.
You will also see, are you going both nights?
Yep.
So you will see Liger's last 2 matches ever. Not to mention, if I don't know if you saw like the people that he's tagging up with in that match.
Yeah, well, I don't know most of them because I'm not too in tune, but yeah, and Hanma and Sasuke.
Sasuke is there, and then of course Shinjiro Otani, which them, and I think he was able to convince Kendo Kashin, which is his former tag team partner in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
To at least walk out with him. He's still, his former tag partner's like, I'm not gonna wrestle, dude. Like, I'm too old. It's like, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, so they've all been part of his career at some point. Yeah, major feuds. So that's gonna be pretty awesome. I need to watch some videos on that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, a lot of those people that he was bringing out are all people that were involved like in the Super J Cup and like the best of the Super Junior tournaments of the 90s.
Yeah.
Which in my opinion were some of the best periods of like junior heavyweight wrestling in Japan.
Yeah. So it's definitely a bucket list thing I have to get out of the way.
Oh dude. So yeah, I mean, because if you're a wrestling fan, I think you can definitely say that you can attribute a lot of what you see in the ring now to what Liger did 30 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
Especially the pace, the style, the work rate, so many things. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, Liger was the one who created the shooting star press.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't do it anymore. I mean, he doesn't have to. But he created the shooting star press, of course, and people just took it from there and made this whole thing. And of course, Liger, you bring in the capo kick in, innovative for that. The palm strike,
the pioneer,
the running Liger bomb. No one did that before him either. So I mean, the guy is an innovator, is a high flying, and like could show you that you can be a smaller guy and work just as powerful as a bigger guy if you want.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm just stoked for that. You're going to see his last matches ever.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Like I said, it was just kind of a spur of the moment. It's like,
that's awesome.
I got the PTO day.
Oh man,
let's do it.
I will say that even though you're going to spend like 2 weeks there, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be there 2 weeks. Even though at that point in the podcast we have already been we would have already covered Wrestle Kingdom and New Year's Dash. But you got to come back and give us
oh yeah,
you come back anytime.
I can't record. Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I can't record there, so
you can't record there. You'll get arrested. Liger will arrest you.
Liger will come out and arrest me.
Wait, can you call us live? What if we do this show live and then Luke could call us?
Yeah. Well, I have an international plan. I don't know if you do though.
Oh, dude. Then yes. Let's try to make that happen.
Try to Skype in or something.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
FaceTime, something.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, man. But like I said, I am super stoked for you, man. But you got anything else, man?
No, that's it. Let me just hit them with our social media. Facebook, Instagram, find us on Tiger Driver Radio. On Twitter, Tiger Driver Rad1. That's the number 1, not ONE. That's Tiger Driver RAD1. or you can email us at tigerdriverradio@gmail.com.
Absolutely, kids. Let us know what you guys think. Gripes, complaints, suggestions. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Whatever you want to do, we thank you for the support. Shout out to Rafael Fortes from Brazil. Obrigado. Thank you once again. And this is your main man, JP. And on that note, what am I, Australian? On that note, enjoy pro wrestling, kids. We'll catch you. Matter of fact, actually, before we go, I forgot.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll be taking a little bit of a sabbatical. We'll be taking a break. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and that's when we'll start to wrap up the World Tag League. And we'll have other things to cover, and we'll see what happens with the crazy world of wrestling. Until then, thank you once again to our boy Blue.
He's gonna come back for sure, right, Blue?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Feel free to come back anytime. Seriously.
Yeah, man.
Please do.
Enjoyed this.
Awesome, man.
How it's made. Tiger Driver.
How it's made. Maybe we should do it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Kind of like behind the music for VH1. Remember back in the day? Of like it really talked about how bands like broke up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about how, Tiger Driver Radio was ruined.
Man.
I'm kidding. But on that note, man, welcome back anytime. Thank you for coming through. Enjoy pro wrestling, kids. Peace.
Adios.
Peace.